Hello everyone, I'm here today to share some of Gary's jewellery, Small Things Silver and Glass. That's the page over on Facebook. These pieces that I'm showing you today have just come back from the Assay office. They've all been marked with the silver mark and with Gary's personal hallmark, which is a wonderful thing to have happened. So with it all in a place now where it can be sold on, this is what we'd like to do by sharing this with you. To contact Gary, there is a telephone number on his shop page. There will be a link below this video that will take you directly to where he shows and goes into more detail about the pieces that he's made. I need to reinforce this is all handmade. All the coiling of the wires, all the soldering and everything has all been done by Gary using sterling silver. There is nothing here that isn't of really good quality materials. Today it's a share of amethyst, abalone, lace agate, and it's a mixture of bracelets, pendants, some of which are statement pieces, some of which could be worn every day. You know, it's down to the individual. So this is the first piece, and it is quite a plain piece just to look at. It's an ordinary bangle size, and I say to look at, it's a plain piece until you actually look at the work that's involved here. And this is 3, 6, 9 strands of silver, and then the finer silver wire has been woven into and between each of the rounds of the silver, and it really is one of these pieces that has to be seen to be fully appreciated. It's the usual clasp that Gary does, and it's almost like a hook and eye, so it makes it very easy to put on and take off. The piece is flexible, it's got a good feel to it when it's on the wrist, and is really quite delightful. I can't talk prices with you. That will need to occur when Gary has finally put everything up on his page and decided what the weight of the silver is, because that is how price is decided. It's not decided on the length of time it takes to make, it's decided upon the actual weight of the sterling silver. And you know, that said, you could go and check what silver is currently valued at for by the ounce, and it would give you an indication of the fairness of his pricing. But that is item number 1, which is the plain. The next is a bronze agate. It's a beautiful cabochon setting. It's flat on the back and rounded and smooth on the front, and again it's been encased in silver wiring. All the wires, as you can see here, have been wrapped and held into place. There's some delicate decorative edging on the front. The loops then go up into the bail, and it's all in one piece, so you don't have to worry about it separating, and that would then go on to a silver chain, either fine or chunky, long or short, depending on you. And it really is another lovely piece with lots and lots of twirls and rolls in it. Very substantial. I can't give you size exactly, but it is, roughly speaking, and I'll take it from the bail, 2¼ inches by 1 inch in width, so it really would make a glorious pendant. So that's another piece there. I'm going to try and get them all up, and then I'll widen out so you can see them all on the mat here. There is a double piece here, but Gary is prepared to sell them separately, obviously, because they are quite considered pieces. One is a pendant, one is another bracelet with a lot of ornate twirls and swirls all around the casing, as I hope you can see. Again, it's fitted in the same way, totally secure, flat back cabochon. Everything is designed to hold that stone in place. Again, the hook and eye scenario on the closure. There are twisted silver wires here to add a decorative center to the bracelet part. It's all been wrapped then to hold all of that in place. More of the silver twist going around the edge of the cabochon, and this would be a matching or not, depending on, you know, whether you wanted a duo or you just wanted separate pieces. Less decorative, but nonetheless there is a lot of silver here, all up into the bail again, where it's been wrapped and wound and beautifully put together. If you see it in the light, it doesn't disappoint. There's striation there on the stone, and it actually is lace agate. It's all been bought with the name of the stones and everything documented by Gary, who knows his stuff and actually took advice from a gem book to make sure he was doing things properly. And that's a different pattern on the inside there. There are flaws, but it's not anything that Gary's done. It's the actual agate itself, but it really is a beautiful, beautiful colour. Again, quite significant. It is that's still another 2 inches for the wrist, just over that 1.25 inches wide, and I believe, yeah, 2 inches from the bail down to the swirls at the bottom, and 1 inch wide, because these were all bought from the same seller who had a series of things that Gary hoped he'd be able to match, basically, to make little sets if that's what people happen to be looking for. This is an amethyst agate, and it really is, sorry, amethyst crystal, and again it really is gorgeous. If you look at the demarcation in the stone itself, it really is gorgeous. Again, the swirls, the pocket holding the amethyst is a lot more work. It's a double strand going all the way around. It's all been put in such a way that it can't go anywhere. It's all integral. It's one large piece of silver that's been rolled and put into the design. I do believe Gary's planning to polish up some of these, but as I say, they've all been hallmarked. They're back from the assay office today, and you know, that is, I'm sure Gary would make the details of the assay office available if people were concerned about what they were buying, but you know, that's again, is a personal thing. Silver is silver. It doesn't lose value. It's currently great on the market at the moment. I think it's more valuable than gold, but there we go. So that is the amethyst crystal. This then is another agate, I believe. Again, a very, very pretty. It's a grey through to green. Gorgeous, gorgeous filigree work all the way around. It is another significant piece. There is a whole lot of silver in this. The average wrist size, I would say, would be between 6.5 to 7.5. You know, it would depend where you like to wear your bracelets. Some people like to wear them quite high on their wrists, more to the forearm, and some people like them low down. It's entirely up to you, but anything you see here, were it not to be within your size, Gary could certainly make up to that size, because that is what bespoke work is all about. Then there is this beautiful amethyst crystal, and again it's really, really delicate. There are these tiny little silver balls, some swirly bits. The crystal is right in the middle there. All of the bracelet is the twisted silver. There's even some filigree work down at the actual closure there. It's such a pretty piece. It's got quite a dated look to it. It's not one of these ones that is ultra modern, but really, really pretty nonetheless. Then this one, oh no, I did that one, didn't I? Beg your pardon. That was the, I think it's abalone actually. I think it's that shell. It is abalone, looking at it there, isn't it? Or is that another one? Oh, I'm getting myself all confused. Oh no, it is. That was the agate. This is the abalone. And this is a significant size. This one is actually up to 8 inches, and it is proper abalone. It's been encased in a silver base that encases it entirely, as you can see through the back here. Twisted rope silver all the way through it, with this lovely, it's not an infinity sign, but I know that's what this design was based upon. Gary wanted to incorporate the shape because he thought it was really quite nice. And this is offset. It doesn't sit in the middle of the bangle, it sits to the side, so it really is very, very unique and one of his own designs. Then we have another, I don't know if this is a lace agate, but it is a semi-precious gemstone, and this one would be featured this way on the locket, slightly smaller than the other ones, and it's got all the lovely purple hues in it. That one is approximately 1.5 by 1.5, a little bit more because of the bail, but it truly is very, very pretty and a very nice piece to have out over a jumper, or you know, for a special occasion event. Sometimes the simple stuff is just so elegant. Well, that's my opinion anyway. Again, it's all caught up in this beautiful filigree work. This little bail here is made up by wrapping the silver wire time and time again. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Don't think it's going to focus that closely, but literally a fine piece of silver has been wound around and spiraled up through to form the shape of the bail. And all of this again is integral and as safe as houses. It's not going to go anywhere. This is a very pretty bracelet here. I love this one, and it's amethyst crystals with all this beautiful decorative work on it. Really pretty. It's a lot more delicate than the other pieces because it's open fretwork. It's not all banded together to keep it in its tight place, but it has been wrapped again with the silver wire to strengthen it and keep those fluted areas where they need to be. That, as I say, is one of my personal favourites. And I think with the purple crystals as well, it is just such a delight and could be worn for a lot of different occasions. It's beautiful architecture there with the silver. Really lovely. Then this is jasper in all its fullness. It's green with this brown, almost blood coloured patterning in it. Brown, I can see browns and greens and greys really, really gorgeous if you like your semi-precious gems. And again, there is some scroll work on the bracelet, which hides the wrapping that's occurred to keep the individual strands of silver together, some delicate scroll work, and it's held in place. It's not going anywhere. I would defy anyone to try and take the stone out without damaging it, because it just can't be done. It's layer upon layer of coordinated work that just brings it all in together and keeps it all safe, and then a little bit of silver soldering just to make sure that it's not going to be loose or letting go anywhere. Absolutely gorgeous. Again, significant piece. 1.5 by 1.5 is this closed area here, and then the rest goes out being in the bracelet and making up that lovely design. And there is another agate here, and it is the purple again. Lots and lots of swirls and twirls, twists, the same bracelet tie like this. It wouldn't exclude having a safety chain put on it if that's what you wanted to do. It does lend itself to that kind of thing, but to keep the price to a realistic price, Gary doesn't tend to add that kind of thing, but it can be added at a later date. But it's another pretty bracelet in the amethyst colours. Really, really pretty. It's the amethyst tiger eye. This is what the central sheen is there when it hits the light. That is the tiger eye effect, and it really is quite special. So that's that one. Then there's a little tiny one here, and it is tiny. This would probably fit a 6-inch, maybe a 6-inch wrist. It really is tiny, but beautiful work on it nonetheless. All the scroll work and everything, twisted wires. If I remember rightly, this was commissioned by someone and then they let Gary down. So, you know, it's gone through due process. It's stamped, it's hallmarked. It's got the light refracted opening in the back of the cup that holds the stone there, just to let it shine in all its glory. And that is that one. And then there is this chunky monkey here that has to go into the pot for polishing. It's come back, it's stamped, it's got the 925 on it in Gary's hallmark. It will fit up to a 7.5-inch small man's wrist, and it really is chunky. You can see from the links. I watched him make this and it was a piece of work going together. It really was. But it took him a long time, and it is only the silver weight that he would be charging for. So I hope you've enjoyed this share. I will endeavour to widen out, whoops, sorry, wrong way, and let you see all of these pieces again as best as I can. And do remember, if you've seen anything that catches your eye, especially with Christmas ever looming, etc, etc, I don't have to say that word really, it's very naughty. There we are. You can always contact Gary on his shop page on Facebook. He does leave a telephone number there for you to ring him or message him. It's entirely up to you to find out more if you've seen something that you would like. Take care, everyone. This is all for now from Small Things Silver and Glass.